welcome to Sunrise Extra Thursday. So we're having some fun today because there was a post on Twitter that was going viral. It had like, I don't know, 2,000 responses and, or no, 4,000 responses and like 4,000 hearts.
It just doubled.
So the question is, I want to throw it up on the screen if we're able to. It said, it was from this woman, and she has a blue check mark. I think she's a journalist or something.
Journalist.
What word is your biggest mispronunciation trigger? She says, for me, it's when people say etc. instead of etc. That's a very specific one. But there were some really good comments. I retweeted her and I said, it bugs me when people pronounce it Alzheimer's instead of Alzheimer's.
I've never even heard that one.
I've never heard Alzheimer's either.
A lot of these are just out of laziness. You know, we don't enunciate our words.
Alzheimer.
This, Richard says, ex-presso instead of espresso.
I probably said that.
Both instead of both.
Both. I would say that.
That's just lazy. Both.
So then it really got us talking in the newsroom, and Brenda was rattling off some really good ones too.
See, we're word nerds, though. I mean,
Totally.
I'm glad that we're not the only ones, clearly, from the Twitter post. But yeah, everything catches my ear because I am a word nerd. My top one of late is 100. Because people say Hunnard. He's 100 years old. I'm like, well, not really.
And I never, you mentioned that yesterday, it made me laugh because I said, you're absolutely right. I never thought about it, but we just, you know, you would say, oh man, that person's turning 100 years old, or, you know, 100 years old. I just say it so,
100,
I say it so fast though.
I think it's just,
Well, a lot of these are the way you, in local regions. I mean, Jennifer Taff has a comment that is my mother to a T, and Jennifer says, wash. My mother-in-law says wash, not wash. And my mother, I've never, ever in my entire life heard my mom say wash. It's always wash.
A lot of people wrote in Washington,
My mom did the same thing back in the day when I was little. I didn't know better. I think I was in school when somebody said, why do you call it Washington?
It's just,
we moved up from California, but she was a Hood River girl, always called it Washington.
Yeah, and my stepdad, pardon me, my father-in-law, I always get those two titles confused, by the way. I don't know why, but this is my father-in-law I'm speaking about. There in Estacada, he always says Washington too.
Do the wash.
Somebody else, actually, Portland chef Naomi Pomeroy commented on this Twitter post, and she said she hears a lot of people say Silicon Valley instead of Silicon Valley.
Yeah, okay.
There may be a lot of silicone in Silicon Valley as well. Who knows?
Jared says, my grandpa says crick. My grandpa said crick as well.
Yes.
Instead of
crick.
But I loved it. I loved it too.
Grew up in McMinnville, and there's Baker Creek Road. We always called it Baker Creek.
I'll tell you, it's an East Coast thing because I grew up, actually I always say I'm from Philly, but I lived most of my young life in a place called Darby, which is right outside of Philadelphia, and we had the Darby Creek.
Absolutely.
It was the creek, but we called it the Darby Creek.
The creek.
So some of those, I think, I don't know, maybe I've wrongfully thought some of these like crick is a country thing.
Well, that Darby was no country.
That city folks wouldn't say crick, but you're saying Darby's not the country, so.
A lot of people saying people mispronounce Oregon.
That's
Jennifer
true.
Taft and Veronica Guest.
Interesting kind of take on
Oregon.
I was saying that people have mispronounced Oregon a number of different ways. In Philadelphia, going back to where I grew up, that area, we had a very busy street there in the middle of the city, Oregon Avenue. But no one there calls it Oregon Avenue, it's Oregon. It's almost like A-R-E, almost like forgetting the middle syllable altogether and going right to the end with a G-A-N, Oregon.
I always heard it back east when I was in New York. It was like Oregon.
Yeah.
It was G-O-N-E.
Oregon. Yeah.
My stepdad, and this time I got the title right, my stepdad will still say, how's it out there in Oregon?
Oregon.
Oregon.
Yeah. A lot of people were saying, and this, my first news director I ever had really hammered this into my brain.
The worst one.
When people say nuclear, but it's nuclear.
Right. No,
and realtor. It's not realtor, it's realtor. There is no A.
George W. Bush did the, he totally confuses me. It's, which one is it? Nuclear. Not nuclear. I think that was his.
Nuclear.
He would mispronounce it, and then I'd look at the word, and I'd want to say it the way he says it. Just totally screwed with it.
I mean, a lot of this is, it's where you grew up and how people talk where you grew up.
But it is like, I have a mug that my husband got me that says, I'm silently correcting your grammar. And you can just drink it.
That is hilarious.
Really
James says roof
and
rough.
Christy
like people
Shark said
say
the same
rough.
thing.
Roof.
Go. Get up on the rough.
Get up on the
Yeah,
rough.
I've had people say that. Get up on that rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that.
That one doesn't bother me.
Christy Shirk, just ahead of James, said the same thing. So we have back-to-back roughs.
Oh, Carol has a good one too.
Yeah.
Axe
Let me ask you
instead
a
of
question.
ask.
Yeah. You're going to kill me? Don't ask me.
Oh, the other one is too, we just heard this recently. Like, I pronounce it strength, but some people say strength.
Strength.
My dad did that too. Yeah, no.
I don't have either,
Strength.
so that's a problem.
Yeah. I think that's probably how my mom said it. Extra strength Tylenol.
Yeah, extra strength.
Extra strength.
Jeff is talking about all the, specific places here, which are hard for people moving in. Siletz, Yahats, Sayo.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We just had somebody.
Good luck.
It was I think producer Cassie. It was you. She's the one in our ears today. She was like, how the heck do you pronounce this Y-A-C-H? Yeah. I'm like, yeah, it looks like Yatchets, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Yahats.
Yeah.
Wait, you had a funny one the other day.
No, on TV?
No, it was back in the newsroom. And Nina laughed so hard when you told her. It was,
was it a country name?
CH?
Oh, the
Yes,
T.
it was
the
T. That's right.
T.
That's right.
So my wife, I don't know if she had,
Oh, yeah.
if she was still pregnant at the time with twins 14 years ago. Now I can't believe they turned 14 this week, by the way.
Yeah.
Twins. Or if it was just after she had the babies, but she wanted tea. Can you get me some tea? Okay, I'll make you some tea. It's the kind of husband I am. Anyway, goes into the pantry and I see 2 boxes. I said, do you want the English breakfast or do you want the shalama meal?
Shalama
What?
meal.
I said, the shamama meal? She goes, it's chamomile. But there's an H in there. Why don't we
Yeah.
say the H?
I don't know. Yeah, C-H-A-M.
Shalama meal.
That makes it sound way more fun.
You remind me.
Chamomile meal.
Chamomile is kind of the most boring of the teas. It's just very calm and nice.
So good.
I was telling these guys yesterday, my husband used to call it balsamic vinegar. So a lot of 2 extra balls in there, yes, balsamic.
Barbara Hill says, my mom says album instead of album.
Oh, that's weird. You're making it
Album.
way harder.
Yeah, it is.
My mom would say erasure instead of eraser.
Oh.
Don't
Erasure.
you get
She put
those-
an H in
She
there.
would say, you're leaving those erasures all over your paper. Like
Buddy.
you know those little erasure marks or whatever?
So I told you this in the newsroom. So the other day in the car, I can't remember why the word came up, and I actually say it both ways. This particular day I said
I'm
a
gonna look that
gala,
up, actually.
like somebody's having a big gala event.
I don't like that
And
word
sometimes I say gala, and I probably do it 50-50 both ways, and my daughter was
Gala.
certain that gala is correct. Would you say that's correct, Brenda?
I would
so
say
she,
yes. I
ways,
used to
right?
say
So she
gala,
called me
though.
out, but I think that is a word that I'm not alone, that
Kinda
people
morphed.
kind of go flip-flop on that both ways.
Yeah,
right?
I hear gala more often
Yeah,
these
I
days,
probably do
but
too.
back in the day,
Yeah.
it was definitely.
Gala, yeah.
Well, remember it was Uranus
So
until it was
in
Uranus.
English,
I mean,
like-
so yeah. So it goes both
English.
ways. We
Still
grew up one
sounds
way, and now they've changed it on us.
Dirty, doesn't it? Somehow, I don't know.
Should never have been Uranus. That was just a mistake from the get-go.
Oh boy.
So it looks like in like traditional like England English,
Yes.
they say gala.
Okay.
Okay.
But American English has kind of changed it to gala. But I think either is correct.
So if my daughter corrects me again, I could say, honey,
Say up.
Dad's an American.
Yeah. Gala is the usual pronunciation of gala in the northeast of England.
Oh, boy.
And something else gala.
So it goes
Yes,
both ways.
I think it's both.
A lot of things, I think
say
if you Google it, it
banana
will say is
boo-boo.
acceptable.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
A lot of words.
Producer Cassie weighed in. She said, my mom says Chipotle instead of Chipotle.
Oh, yeah, that's funny.
I like it.
Cassie, what's up, Cassie? Okay, our producer Cassie Taylor weighing in. She says her mispronunciation trigger is when somebody says "I seen." You're telling you a story. I seen this happen instead of I saw.
it happen.
Yes,
Oh,
one
boy.
of I know someone that when he's telling a story, he says, I says, and then I says to him this, and it just makes me
I
claw my eyes
says.
out inside my body, but I don't say anything.
I'm in the act of saying, I says. I don't even say this one out loud usually because I don't know how to pronounce this word. I don't know how you would pronounce it incorrectly.
What?
I just don't pronounce it. I'm going to have you say
Is
it.
this
It comes
Trish
from Trish Anderson.
Yes, yes.
Worcestershire.
Say it again.
Worcestershire.
It's hard to say.
I'm just like Drew. I can't say it. I can't say it.
I'm not going to order that sauce. I'm not going
I
to have that
can't say
sauce
it.
because I
like
can't
it.
say that sauce.
Worcestershire.
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 I can't
There's a
say
lot
that
of
word.
Yeah.
I can't
What
say
was
it.
the other one
We were talking about
thinking
charcuterie.
That's right.
Charcuterie.
Somebody actually weighed in on like
yeah.
the national feed about bruschetta versus bruschetta, and it is sket
Bruschetta.
Oh, really?
Bruschetta,
Yeah.
really?
No one I've heard you say that.
I never. Yeah.
I always get the other salad wrong too. The one with the
Caprese?
yes.
Yes.
Say it again.
Caprese?
Caprese salad.
Caprese.
Caprese. I say caprese a lot, and my kids jump down my throat about that one. Come on, Dad, we have it all the time. You don't know how to say it. Caprese.
Hey, real quick, Rob St. Helens says, so on another topic, IndyCar weekend. The Indianapolis 500, did they postpone that to this weekend? I have no idea. He wants to know what the weather's going to be for the Indy 500.
It's a PIR.
Oh, PIR. So it's a local race.
The
Okay.
Indy 500 is happening at PIR. Did I just get that right? That's what
Well, it says IndyCar weekend at PIR. Okay, so Rob, yeah, we have a dry weekend. If you're going to that race, there's no rain chance Saturday or Sunday, and temperatures should be in the 70s both days. Okay.
Here's
Moving on.
two real common ones. Supposedly.
Supposedly. Yeah.
And also irregardless, which
Yes.
is not a word.
Just regardless.
Just say regardless.
What's that
Renee?
word?
Irregardless.
Yeah, I knew that.
Rural. For rural?
Rural.
Rural is another kind of a hard word for me. Any of the R-controlled vowel sounds are difficult for me.
For a while, mirror for mirror.
Yeah, mirror.
And horror for horror. Or just ho.
You better not get that one wrong.
Oh yeah, that's totally
Not in my house
different.
anyway.
That's funny.
We cannot read that.
Intensive purposes. Yes.
Oh,
it's
that's intense and purposes.
Doesn't that remind you of that Seinfeld episode where he's talking about statutes of limitations? It's not statues of limitations. It's statutes of limitations.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good one.
He's telling Kramer all about that.
I could fall for that.
That's funny.
Here's another. This is the supposedly again. Foliage instead of
Foliage.
Foliage. And there's the nuclear one again. Used to work with a guy that said both. Yeah. Man, when they run through these so fast.
Balsamic vinegar.
There it is.
Can you please pass the
Balsamic.
balsmatic dressing?
Oh, boy.
Keep that off my salad, please.
Balsamatic, maybe. Oh, my goodness. Joshua Madrid is on board with irregardless. He drives him crazy.
What about neither or neither? Do you guys have a preference on that?
That goes either or either.
Right.
Does it go either way?
Tomato, tomato.
Neither or neither goes either or either. Got it.
I mean, a lot of words do.
Neither? You don't think it's ever neither?
Neither. No, I'm just saying, I'm trying to think of, I don't
I'm
usually.
neither bothered by that nor.
I know one of my best buddies, Drew, you'll get a kick out of this. We go into a bar, and Clifford always orders a Coors. Give me a Coors.
Coors, oh yeah.
And more than not, the waiter goes,
Heavy
"What do
or
you
light?
want?" And I'm like, bring him a Coors. A
Yeah.
Coors beer, from Colorado.
funny.
But he says like Coors.
Coors.
And the waiter never can tell what the heck he's trying to order. Coors
How
Light
do you
or
pronounce
Coors
it?
beer.
Say it properly.
Coors.
It's
Coors.
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 My husband calls it a C-. Coors Light.
That brings up another beer-related mispronunciation.
Oh, yes, please.
It's a popular one here in Oregon. Widmer. Widmer Brothers beer.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And when I first moved here 21 years ago, everyone was talking about Widmer. I love Widmer. You should order a Widmer. Widmer, right? And then there's no E at the end of that. It's W-I-D-M-E-R, right? To me, it looks like it should be Widmer. But okay, I'll say Widmer like everyone else. I get to meet the brothers, right? Doing all this out and about business.
Yeah.
I meet the Kurt and the Rob. And I'm like, hey, what is the deal with the last name? And they say, the brothers say, it's Widmer.
Yeah.
I said, most people around here call it Widmer. And you go, I know. They're saying it wrong. We're going to let it go as long as they keep buying
Let it go.
But the other quick funny story with that, Rob Widmer says he was going through the checkout line. This is a true story, he says. He's going through the checkout line, purchasing a 6-pack of one of his beers.
Yes.
And the woman at the counter says, oh, I love Widmer beers. And he tries to tell her it's actually pronounced Widmer. She goes, no, it's not. I've been here my whole life. It's Widmer. And Rob goes, fine, it's Widmer.
You should have showed her his driver's license or something.
Yeah.
Like, I am Widmer.
Terry Hogan Camp says lackadaisical instead of lackadaisical.
Lackadaisical.
That's so hard word.
Lackadaisical.
Lackadaisical.
Another one I just
What
tried
was
to
the one
avoid.
that you were thinking of, Brenda, where like people were adding on to the word that's making it not?
Adding on.
Remember,
to
like they're
words?
adding syllables onto words that. Wasn't that you that was saying that?
Oh, yes. Gosh, what was it? Like, I really can't orient myself, in this room, but they say orientated. Like they add syllables.
But
to the
orientated is a word or not?
Orientation. Orientated. That was. I read that somewhere on one of the lists. Orientated.
Yeah.
Orientated.
Is supercalifragilisticexpialidocious a word? Is that really a word? Jared,
tense.
Jared, one of our .com guys
Yeah.
talks about something that is sort of 10 years ago. I don't think any of us would have even tried to say this word, but it's very popular now. It's the one that's spelled Acai. Acai. You know what I'm talking about? It's acai.
Yeah, that is
Acai.
freaking
But
confusing.
no one knows how to say
Is
that,
that
right?
Brazilian?
Acai.
I remember when I first saw quinoa, and it was quinoa.
Yeah.
I was like, how do you say that?
That's a cool word to say, but I'd hate to have to spell it. Quinoa. It's just kind of easy. Quinoa.
It looks like quinoa.
Right.
That's why, yeah, totally. That's funny.
You know what's goofy? This is so my grandfather grew up in a little Iowa farm town, and the town's name is spelled Leon. So how would you pronounce it? Leon.
Leon.
Leon, right?
Leon.
I swear to gosh, 50% of the
They got
people
on
in
the
this
show.
small town say Len, and the other 50% of the town call it Leon. And I'm like, how could the people that live in one town not even decide what the heck the name of the town is?
Oh, that's interesting.
That always cracked me up. Leon.
That is weird.
And it's spelled Leon,
Len.
obviously. But
Julie Wyatt says library instead of library.
Library.
So,
Library.
Who's not saying library?
and with the month February, should we be pronouncing that R?
February. I say February. I'm totally
February, too.
Totally
February. So
saying it?
Dorothy
February.
Spornak's character on The Golden Girls, she played a substitute teacher.
Wait
Wow.
She had
Wow.
Time out.
Hold on.
Believe it or not,
Rod.
one of Rod Hill's all-time favorite shows, like top 3,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah, absolutely.
Golden Girls.
Love that show.
Yeah.
Anyway, Dorothy Spornak says you have to put the R in February.
February.
Yeah, have to
February.
put that R in there.
Yeah, that's correct.
What do you think the percentage of Americans who do that? I would say less than 10%. Most people just skip the R and go right to. No?
I know it's wrong. I'm so.
Pacifically instead of specifically.
Specifically.
I could care less instead of I couldn't care less.
Yes, that's a good one.
That is,
That's a
yeah.
good
I
kind
could
of
care less.
So M.U. Holly or Moo Holly, I'm not sure how they pronounce it. Oh, shoot. It just went bye-bye. Oh, people say height, and it should be height.
height.
I think I used to do that, too.
Here's something I'd never heard until I moved here. My wife still says it. I don't get it. Talking about something that's over there on the other side of the street, she says across the street. It's across the street with a T at the end or an ED. I don't even know what letter she's using, but she's adding something to the SS.
I'll probably do that sometimes. I'll probably.
Does that bother you? Did you used to say anything and now you just have given up, or how do you work that?
I mean,
in
yeah,
your
sometimes
marriage?
I won't sleep in the same bedroom with her after she does that, sure.
Said
but-
across.
No, I just go, huh? What the heck? Crossed. Do you all do that too? You Northwestern?
Brenda, did you ever correct Jeff? Like if he, or do you just kind of keep it to yourself?
No, because
Or
I
it depends
feel
on the moment.
Yeah, it depends on the moment. But sometimes we laugh because he's like, literally, I'm like, oh my gosh. He goes, I can't say half the words. So it's kind of an ongoing joke. But if it's something, I'm like, well, would you not want to know? Like that you.
That's how
in case you go out in like real public and it's not.
If it's
just
like a word
family.
my husband might say like in a meeting with people at work, I feel obligated to help him.
I know somebody who, and now I told Nina yesterday, I've waited too long to say something. So every time they say it, I just let it go. But they're talking about people who need adulation, but they pronounce it audulation. And at first I didn't know him that well. And then, I mean, it's been like 20 years. It's been a long time, like, audulation. I'm like, oh, I should have said something a decade ago. But now I'm like, I just can't.
Who the heck's using that word so often? I've never
totally
used that
wrong
word one
word.
time.
It's not even a mispronunciation.
I'm not sure I've ever heard of that word.
It's like audiology and
Yeah, and I'm something else.
Exactly.
Audulation.
Audulation.
It is like a yodel.
Oh boy.
Could have, should have, would have, could have.
This has been fun,
yes.
people. I like it.
Oh, Kim Tannehill on YouTube. Good morning, everyone on YouTube. She says, try saying rural juror. What was the thing I had to say the other day on the news? It was freaking hard. I can't remember, but yeah,
I don't remember
rural
either.
juror.
How about this one? Another, I know we have to get out of here. We're having so much fun, we don't want to leave. But this is like another local pronunciation or mispronunciation. Terwilliger curves. Terwilliger.
Oh, yeah.
Most people just go with ta, right? Like T-A, Terwilliger.
Yeah, Terwilliger. The Terwilliger.
Here's another one, and who brought this up? Chester drawers.
Oh, yeah.
That was
A
you.
chest of drawers. Did
Yeah,
your dad used to
Chester,
say
I think that's where I got. I used to think that when I was little. I know I heard it somewhere.
Chester drawers.
Chester drawers.
A chest of drawers.
Instead
Yeah,
of
I've
a
always
Chester
always called them because that's what I always heard from my
Chester
family.
drawers?
Chester
Isn't that funny?
drawers.
Funny. Thanks, Kim.
Didn't even know that wasn't correct, to be honest with you. I swear it's the only way I've ever heard it referred to, ever.
To this day.
to this moment on this
this
show.
very moment.
Yes.
Come on, mic drop. That's where we have to end it, right? Come
We've
on
had
now.
success.
You're correcting my life.
All right,
Education.
you guys. Thanks for having fun with us. We'll see you
That's
tomorrow. It's
awesome.
Friday.